Hello friends, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about the learning based approach. In the previous video, we discussed about the rule based approach for AI model development. So you can look for the previous video and you can understand that what we have understood there. So today we are going to understand about the learning based approach. So let us start quickly. What is the learning based approach in machine learning? So the very first sentence you can see this explains what is the learning based approach. So in the learning based approach, it's about empowering a computer to discover patterns and make intelligent decisions from data rather than being explicitly told every single step to take. We don't have to give every single step, like if this is the question, you need to do this. If that is the question, you need to do that. Those kind of things you don't need to do. I mean, it's very much contrary to the rule based approach. So it's again like just opposite to the rule based approach. It learns itself. It learns from the existing data. It learns from the new data. It tries to find out the pattern. It understands what has been asked now and what should be the answer in this situation rather than being told or being just fed with new information next time to handle new questions, right? So all those things you don't need to do. So here it has been given a teaching a child analogy. So with the help of this, you should be able to easily understand it. Imagine teaching a child to identify a cat instead of giving the child, a checklist like it has a pointy ear and it has a tail and it says meow. Apart from all those things, what you can do, you can simply tell the student or your child that yes, this is cat, this is dog, this is cat, this is not cat, something like that. You can start teaching him in this way. So each time you provide feedback, this is a cat, this is not a cat, he's learning, right? Now, through this repeated exposure and feedback, the child gradually develops an internal understanding of what constitutes a cat. It The child himself generates an understanding, develops an understanding that what is called cat and what is called not a cat, right? So it is able to identify what is a cat and what is not a cat. So they learn to generalize, recognizing new cats they have never been seen before, even if those cats look slightly different from the ones in their training set, right? Even if they have not seen, the child has not seen the kind of cat that has been presented to him, even it has not been presented while training, then also he is able to identify the cat, right? So this is precisely what a learning based system does. It is trained with a wealth of examples, and from those examples it constructs its own internal rule or understanding of the problem. So in simple layman terms, we feed a computer a lot of examples and it uses clever algorithms to figure out the underlying patterns and relationships. Once it has learned, it can then apply this newfound knowledge to solve similar problems with new unseen data, right? So this is what the machine learning, uh, which is the learning based machine learning model or AI model is there. It's like the computer is being educated rather than being given a detailed instructions. It has been educated now rather than giving the detailed instructions that in this situation you will do this, in that situation if you are not able to understand, I will tell you that what you need to do. All those things you don't need to do. It is able to learn on its own self, right? So how it is done, that we can see in the other machine learning tutorial, which is in Hindi language, in the same channel, on the same channel. So you can refer to that one as well. And these days we are understanding to create a model to identify these spam or not spam into the mails, into the incoming mails. Okay, so let us give me you a practical example. So the smart spam email filter, right? So let's consider how a learning based approach powers the spam filter in your email box. So first you need to do the data collection, the study material. We gather a massive data set of emails. Crucially, each email is labeled as either spam or not spam. So when we are labeling the data while training the model, then this kind of learning, this kind of machine learning, or this kind of learning approach is known as the supervised learning, because we are telling that what is spam, what is not spam. How to identify the two things when we are just labeling it for my machine, for my program, which is a machine learning program, then in that case this approach is known as the supervised learning, supervised machine learning, right? So this diverse collection of examples is the experience of system will learn from. Now comes the training process, the learning process. This labeled data set where you have made it like spam or non-spam. We fed into a machine learning algorithm. The algorithm reads through these emails, meticulously analyzing various characteristics, specific words like lottery, urgent, click here. All these words are there in any mail which is likely a spam, right? Sender address, unusual formatting, attachment, capitalization patterns, and more. So whatever patterns it founds in the supervised learning, in the spam mail pattern, that patterns it learns, right? So it identifies which of these features are strongly correlated with spam and which are typically of legitimate emails. Okay. Then comes the model formation, the acquired knowledge. After processing thousands or millions of emails, the algorithm develops an internal model. This model isn't a simple list of rules you can read. It's a complex mathematical representation of the learned patterns that distinguish spam from the legitimate messages. Right? I hope you are understanding because I have written all the things here, whatever I wanted to explain, so that it becomes really easy and the my session or my video should also be small enough to complete the things on time. Okay. Now comes the prediction. I mean, applying the knowledge. Now the model has been trained. Now it will apply its knowledge and it will uh, get the new mail from you. It will see a new mail which it has never seen, and based on its experience, on its learning, it will be able to predict whether your model is whether your mail is a spam or not, right? So it will be able to predict on that data as well, on that mail as well, which it has never seen before. Similarly, when you were teaching a child that what is a cat and what is not a cat, and you put in front of him a new cat, which it has never seen during the training itself. When you are teaching him, he has never seen it, but still he will be able to identify the cat. Same thing is here. It has not seen the mail that you are presenting it to, but still it is able to identify that yes, this is the spam mail or this is a legitimate message, right? So prediction is basically the applying knowledge. So now when a brand new incoming mail arrives, the learned model swings into action. It quickly analyzes the email's features against its acquired knowledge. Based on its learned patterns, it makes an intelligent prediction. This email is highly likely to be spam, or this email is legitimate, and then acts accordingly. That example, moving it to your spam folder, right? So this is a simple example like how you can create a machine learning model which identifies the spam mails. Okay, so it's basically a spam mail filter. Now there is a table below where we have discussed about the learning based approach versus rule based approach. So what is the distinction between two? So first we see the core principle. So in case of learning based approach, it learns underlying pattern relationships directly from the data examples. But rule based approach, it relies on explicit predefined rules set by human experts. How it works? So learning based, an algorithm builds an adaptable model by analyzing large data sets, enabling it to generalize. So based on the data, it can generalize itself. It can see any unseen data, and it can predict what what has been asked to it. Like for example, the spam mail in the previous example. And in case of rule-based approach, a system executes a fixed set of if-then statements and conditions. It's basically like simple programming that you used to do. If this is the question, then you will give this answer. If this is the question, you will give the answer to this question in this manner, right? So a system executes a fixed set of if-then statements and conditions. Adaptability and evolution, highly adaptive. This learning-based approach model is highly adaptive. It can be retrained with new data to learn new patterns and improve performance dynamically. Excellent for evolving environment. I mean, the learning-based approach is really useful, and it must need to be used where there is an environment where a lot of things are changing dynamically. Every moment or every day, the information is changing. A new information is coming. So if that is the scenario, if that is the environment for you, then in that case, you should go for the machine learning model, learning based approach. And then comes the rule based approach. So it's very rigid. It requires manual intervention to add, remove, or modify rules when the problem or environment changes. Poor for dynamic scenarios. That's very clear. Excels at identifying complex, subtle, and non obvious patterns in data that are too intricate for humans to define explicitly, right? So, complex things it is able to understand. Even those things which we are not able to understand ourselves, this is able to understand based on the data pattern, right? But in case of rule-based model, it becomes unwidely and unmanageable as the number of rules and exceptions grows, difficult to cover all edge cases. Then comes the generalization. So, in case of machine learning or learning-based model, there is a strong ability to generalize and make accurate predictions on data it has never seen before. I mean, it is able to generalize the things. Once you are able to generalize the things, once you are able to generalize your learning, then only you will be able to predict on unseen data. Same is the case with the learning based approach, AIs, right? So these AIs which are based on the learning based approach, these will be able to do this. Okay. Then comes the uh, you know uh, the rule based model. So it has limited generalization, only performs well on scenarios explicitly covered by its rules, fails when encountering unforeseen situations. So if unforeseen data comes up, then in that case, it is failing, right? It is not able to generalize the things, it is not able to predict the things. Development and maintenance focus is on data collection, feature engineering, algorithm selection, and training. Maintenance involves monitoring and periodic retraining. Okay. So in case of the machine learning approach, learning based approach, what you need to do, you just need to focus on data. You just keep feeding the new data to it, right? You just keep collecting the data on which it will be trained further. You just need to focus on data. But in case of rule based approach, what we will do, it needs intensive effort in rule definition. Apart from, collecting the data, you may need to collect some data for responding to the questions, but also it needs intensive effort in rule definition, new rule definitions, enumeration of exceptions, and continuous manual updates. High maintenance in fluid environment, right? So all these things are needed in case of rule based approach. And the typical applications, for example, spam filtering, machine learning, learning based approach, image, speech recognition, natural language processing, everywhere you need to have the learning based approach. Recommendation systems, medical diagnosis, fraud detection, all these cases will need learning based approach. But in case of rule based approach, the applications are typically simple expert systems, basic chatbots with limited scripts, clear cut logical decision systems where all conditions are known. It cannot work on the unknown conditions, but learning based approach is suitable for the generalization, and it can work on the uh, you know non-seen data, unseen data, right? So this is all about the learning based approach, and I hope you must have understood what is the learning based approach and how it differs from the rule based approach. So with this, I would like to conclude this particular video, and we'll meet in the next video. Till then, have a nice day, and bye bye. Thank you.